Today's, today's class is going to be about how people worship things, animals, or people. And today's question is going to be, what do you worship? Okay, let's go to the first part. You know what? We have seen through the history that people, humankind, has worshipped many different gods, people, saints, images, animals, essences. And so it has been very interesting to see that, for example, from Mesopotamia to Egypt, to Mexico, to Greece, uh, we all of the countries have had worships for anything. So could you mention any worshiping in the past, in the ancient past? Fernando, could you talk to me about, well, could you talk to us about any worship?
Okay, I'm thinking about the history of the Aztecs. I watching the image of some idol of the Aztecs. I don't know exactly who worship is.
Okay, well, among the Aztecs, I mean, I guess that they worshipped the essences of nature. For example, they adored rain, water, and the person who was in charge for saying something like this was Tlaloc. No? Tlaloc was the one who ruled all the water and all of the rain, for example. So it was one of the responsible of life. There was also Ecatl. He was in charge of the wind.
Yeah, I know.
And there was also Quetzalcoatl, who was the father of the gods. And so something like that. For example, they had also Mictlantecutli. He was in charge of darkness and eternal rest.
I think it's a very interesting mythology.
Yes, that's it. Pretty good. And there was also Huitzilopochtli, who was in charge of fire. He was in charge of war. And he was also in charge of home. And who else? Yeah, that's it. All right. So thank you very much, Fernando. Carlos, could you talk to us about anything like this? Any worship in the ancient past?
Yes, teacher. For me, the Mayas are my idols because they are a culture very surprising. How can I say muy sorprendente?
They were amazing.
They were amazing for me because the Mayas was the culture with more technology. And the Mayas had the technology more advanced.
Yes. And you know what? They also worship some people. For example, they worship, oh my, what was the name of the Mayan gods? For example, it was Balaam.
Balaam. It's another one.
And who was another? Xibalba, instead of Mictlantecutli, the Aztecs, but the Mayans was Xibalba.
I don't remember very well, teacher, because they are a lot of people.
That's it. Yes, you're right. All right, Carlos, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Flor, talk to us about any worship in the ancient past, something that you know.
Um, about Aztecs or Mayas, or in general?
I'm sorry, my microphone was not working well. Yes, it could be about any, in general, not only the Mayans or the Aztecs or Egyptians even.
Well, like the image for the cat, he
Uh-huh.
represents well, uh, he carries the deaths in the underworld, and for that reason, the pharaohs, ¿cómo se diría? Se enterraban con ellos.
Were buried with them.
Buried with them, because they are, the cats are symbolized like a protector from the underworld.
Wow, hey, that's so interesting.
Wow, Flor.
I like so much the Egypt culture.
The Egyptian culture?
Egyptian culture, yes.
That was so interesting.
Yes, includes the cats being mummified too.
Yes. They were the partners for the pharaohs to go to the other world.
Yes.
Oh my, that's so interesting. Thank you very much, Flor. All right, Grisel, what could you talk to us about some worship in the past?
Okay, well, here in my city and my state is a Mayan culture, like Carlos is said. Here in Campeche, we have a lot of influence about the Mayan culture because they live in great part of here, and I like it because they show us about astronomy, math, and they have a lot of gods and
Yes.
and the fascination of the pyramids that they built here in my state in Campeche. They have a lot of pyramids like Calatmul, for example. They built an amazing structure, an amazing city there in the middle of the jungle.
Yes, that's interesting. You know what? Time ago, in January in this year, I was sent to Yucatan in order to do some examinations, and I had the opportunity to visit Xibichaltum,
Oh yeah.
and I was really delighted because of the beauty of the pieces of the architecture they had. I was really impressed because of how was it possible that they made that kind of sculptures in the stones that in Yucatan and in the peninsula, the stones are extremely hard.
Yeah.
So how was it possible for them to make those beautiful sculptures?
Yeah, and they don't have an instruments and a method or something, and they build it up. I'm just fascinated with the hands and with antique instruments. Is correct?
That's it.
They hadn't machines, teacher.
They didn't have any machine, so they had to do everything by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teacher, I remember el templo de Cuculcán, Chichen Itza. It means serpiente emplumada.
Kukulkan like Quetzalcoatl.
Yes.
Something similar, you're right. Wow, so interesting. Yes, thank you very much.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Okay, Erika, please, could you talk to us about something like this?
Well, I also visited the Yucatan or something like the Aztecs culture.
Uh-huh.
Where the Aztecs or all of them did in the past. For example, the ruins. I think they built them as a house or a building for to do their um, well for the dioses. How do you say?
The
Sorry.
gods?
Yes, for gods. I think the culture of on that time was very interesting.
Uh-huh, yes. It was so interesting how they could do so many things with so a few resources.
Yes, and well, we nowadays we have that information in museums and also in the cities or the countries that they did in that time.
Yes, that's it. All right. Thank you very much, Erika.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So, Alice, could you talk to us about something like this, something that you know?
Yes, teacher. I will talk about the gods of Greece. And they had lived in many gods, and the gods lived on the peak mount of Mount Olympus.
Aha, that's it.
They decided the lives of mortals. For example, I remember that Zeus was the most important. He was considered as the supreme god.
Mm-hmm.
Poseidon, for example, was the representative of the sea, and Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, of beauty and love of the body.
Aha, that's it. So look at this, it is so interesting. I remember that whenever you talk about the theogony, that is the history of the gods in Greece, it was so interesting, but it was so confusing sometimes because Zeus was supposed to be married with Hera, but later on he had children with another woman, and the woman had children with oh my. So I was so confused about that because
Sí.
I didn't know who was the father of who or who was the sister of who.
Todos con todos.
Everybody, they were a little confusing.
Yes.
And even this personage, I don't remember what was the name of this fauno, but I guess that he was converted into middle animal and middle human because of a punishment about the goddess Hera, that she was the wife of Zeus, but she was jealous because Zeus had a baby with another woman. So Hera, as she was so jealous, she turned the baby into middle human and middle animal, and she condemned the baby to be wandering all around the forests and things like those. So, oh my, it was interesting, but as I told you before, something confusing for me.
Yes.
All right. You know what? Let's go I guess that it is time to go to another image. This was in the past, but what about nowadays? Here we have that nowadays, even in some countries, animals are worshipped by people. As far as we can see, for example, here in the Tibet, people worship monkeys and people worship some other animals. In India, people worship rats. They also worship cows. Here we have that cows are considered holy and auspicious in the culture. So, what do you know about it? Do you know about any worship about animals in any other country? What about you, Alice? Do you know anything?
I know. In the religion Catholic, in the Catholic religion, maybe the paloma. How do you say paloma?
Dove.
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 Dove. With a spirit, Espíritu Santo, spirit.
That's the Holy Spirit.
A Holy Spirit. I don't know. The elephant, too, in the India.
Yeah, it is the person of God Ganesh.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I don't know much of this topic.
All right, it's okay. Don't worry, Alice. Alice, please tell me who's next.
Erika.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I think the cats for Chinese, they use them like a good luck, especially for their commercials or negocios, how do you say, pardon?
Business?
Yes, for business, they put a cat, but not exactly the real animal, but it's only like a doll. Moving, it arm is like a good luck for them.
Like an idol.
Exactly.
Hey, that's it. Thank you very much. All right. So please, could you tell me who's next?
Okay. Carlos.
All right. Thank you very much.
For the Hindus, the cows are sagrados.
Sacred.
Sacred. Yes, and for the Hindus.
That's pretty good.
And I don't remember the tiger for the Chinese horoscope.
That's it. Hey, that's pretty interesting.
And the pig, but I don't remember very well for what culture. And I think that the Egypt or Grace, I don't remember very well.
Okay, could anybody help?
Pig.
The pig.
Yeah. I was saying the color.
No, it's okay. Thank you very much, Carlos. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay, Carlos, please tell us who's next.
Grisel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, teacher. Well, I don't know about this topic, but oh, I can't say it. Oh my God. For example, some cultures or religion and another, for example, in Arabian or Hindus, they have for example, when they kill an animal, they have some tradition, or I don't know how to say it. They kill the animal, but they try to the animal don't suffer. I don't know what is. It's like Islam. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
I don't remember either the name of the custom, but you know what? A time ago, I was in contact with some Arabic people. They were living in Dammam, and I was in the university with them, and I invited them to have dinner in my apartment one day, but I was in Indiana, in the United States. I was in the University of Southern Indiana. And we had the idea of inviting our friends to have dinner with us so that they could taste Mexican food. So we prepared tinga, we prepared also white rice, and we prepared chicken soup and some Jamaica fresh water so that they could taste the Mexican food we prepared, because they were very curious about Mexican food. You know what? Mexican food has a very high prestige about cuisine, because many people around the world know that Mexican food is so delicious. And so they wanted to know. That's why we invited them to eat. But I prepared chicken tinga.
Okay.
And surprisingly, when the Arabic friends came to my apartment, they said, "Wow, so delicious. What is it?" And I said, "That's tinga. It is a dish, a Mexican dish prepared with chicken." And so they said, "Chicken? Did you kill the chicken yourself?" And I said, "No, I bought it in Walmart." So do you know how the chicken died? No, I don't know how it died. Oh, I'm sorry. I thank you very much for your participation, for your invitation. But you know what? We can't eat. And I said, why not? That's delicious. It's clean. It's good. And they said, no, we are so sorry, but we can't eat your food because you don't know how the animal died.
Yeah, I remember it's halal. Halal
Halal.
is, yeah, that's the method that
Yes.
is the way to kill the animal.
That's
so
it.
they try to look to don't damage the animal or suffer the animal. So they have a different way to eat that food.
Yeah, the halal has to be done at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the animal has to be oriented to the place where the sun comes up.
Yeah.
So you have to, first of all, to ask for permission to the animal
to kill him.
And you have to explain the reason
why
you are going to kill it. And later on, whenever you kill the animal, of course, the animal shouldn't suffer any. And later on, you have to ask for forgiveness for the animal for having taken their lives.
Yes.
Later on, you can eat their bodies, but not before. If you don't know if the halal has been done, then you can't eat it.
Yes, that's true.
So those are some traditions in the Arabic town.
They don't eat pig neither.
No,
My husband was living there, and they don't eat pig. Another they live derivados of the pig, and they don't eat nothing about jellies or no, they don't eat nothing about it.
No, they say that it is nasty.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, you know, it is something so interesting.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Grisel. All right. Tell me, who's next?
Well, Fernando.
Thank you.
Thank you. Um, I'm thinking about the cow for the Indian people.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's strange. Strange.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's
Strange.
strange. Because I had a opportunity to share a time with Indian people. So they no eat pork, no eat cow, no eat pork. I think that animals no eat they.
Uh-huh. They don't eat those
They don't.
animals.
So I don't know exactly, but each culture have a different religion.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the satanic people had the image of the ram, I think so.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know about that, but I think the ram is the representative for the satanic people.
Uh-huh.
Like this, there are too much different kinds of thing.
Yes, that's it. You're right. Yes, it is so interesting. Yes, as you said, there are different cultures, and for example, these people adore rams.
Adore rams, yeah,
They worship rams.
worship rams.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Fernando. Okay. Do anybody else want to say anything about this topic? No? All right.
Hey, Flor.
Yes. Come on, Flor.
Yes, teacher.
All right. Yes. Do anybody want to say anything else?
No, no, well, I think the satanic people are very bad with the animals, or another people who practice the Santeria, because the poor chickens are mutilated
Mhm.
and appear in the rail train.
Aha, that's it. There are some things that can be very cruel. All right. Well, now let's go to the next part of this session. Ta-da! So, you know what? Uh, from the ancient past to nowadays, we all pray, we all ask, and we all worship anything, no? So, as far as we can see, of course, this is a joke, no? And maybe this person is asking for mercy. Maybe he's helping his master, and maybe he's just resting. No, but anyway, all right. You know what? I think that this issue of worshiping is not in the past, it continues. So, what do you think about this? Maybe we don't have any more idolatry for rats or for cows or for monkeys, but maybe nowadays we have idolatry for money or for objects or maybe for ourselves. I think that there are many different kinds of ideas, many different ideologies about different things, but I can see, for example, in the social nets, how people is obsessed sometimes for having selfies and changing every day the selfie. It's nice. Of course, it's something like fun, but what I don't know sometimes if it is the objective, I don't know, to show how beautiful we are, or is it narcissism, or what's happening with us? As far as we can see nowadays, we have different idols. It may be an image like this, and we ask for miracles, for impossible things. And of course, we all need to have faith for anything. We all need to feel the protection of anyone else. But some of us may feel some worship or some idolatry for people who don't know that we exist. And well, I remember a phrase that Will Smith said. He said that the problem of people nowadays is that we buy things that we don't need, and we pay with money that we don't have um, for showing off to people that we don't care of, or that they don't care of us. So what kind of idolatries do we have nowadays? What do you think about this, Grisel?
Okay, well, I think that sometimes we have to have a limit. For example, in a few days, I heard that I have to say a porras of the soccer team, like Monterrey, killed another person to was of the contrary of que era, it was the contrary of the team. And sometimes I think that they have an an excess for 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 that for that, for example, no.
That's it. Yes, that was excessive. That was incredible.
Yeah, the aggression for a game. For me, for example, I like the football, but I don't have an idol or something. I like it, but okay, if they lost, okay, don't worry. But sometimes I see that the people crying and make it crazy, and for that game. For me, that's not correct.
That's fanatism.
Yes, that's a word, fanatism.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Grisel, who's next?
Okay, Alice.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Grisel.
You're welcome.
I believe that we are giving a lot of value to objects, objects that do not really make us happy. I think we are not looking around at things that are really worthwhile. As the people close to us, the nature, the simple and beautiful nature, believe that advertising and the ¿cómo se dice consumir? And the
Consuming?
Consuming has led us to many excess, and that only drag us to buy different objects in the objective a certain status, but that is not is for the happiness for us.
That's it. That's it. Thank you very much. You know what? You make me remember a phrase that says that the problem nowadays is that we worship things and use people, and we should use things and worship people. All right. Thank you very much, Alice. Tell me, who's next?
Fernando.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to talk about of the anorexia. The anorexia is a big problem now in the society because a lot of ladies or some men want to be very skinny. I don't know why. Maybe because he watched the TV or some models. And they want to be like them. So that's bad because they get illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a big problem nowadays.
Yes, you're right. And you know what? I think that it is the lack of self-esteem because we don't accept ourselves as we are. And we try to follow some other styles, some other images that for sure they are fake.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you very much, Fernando. So tell me, who's next?
Floor, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's interesting about the topic who say Fernando about the anorexia and bulimia. I think it's the marketing who sells an image, and the teenagers don't have something who talks with days about this disease and the bad for her bodies. I think influence a lot televisions or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram who sells an image non-healthy for the ladies young or teenagers or any people, and I think that.
Yeah, you know what? You made me remember also a very sad situation. I was working in a university, and there I was working with a group of low, the NINT. They were just one period to be graduated. There was a young woman who was very obsessed with her weight. She was a little chubby, but anyway, she was a very beautiful woman. She had a boyfriend who really loved her. They were going to get married whenever they graduated. But suddenly she was, as I told you before, obsessed with her weight, and she began consuming some pills for losing weight. And she didn't stop. Her mother talked to her, her friends talked to her about it, and they said everybody told her that she was making damage to her body, but she didn't stop. And suddenly, well, it was 1 month before finishing the ninth semester, she died. And it was so sad because I don't believe how it was possible that a person who had an enormous future lost her life because of image, because she wanted to be a slender person. And well, I said this in support of what you said. That was so sad. But yes, it is the idolatry of image. And it's the the marketing that all of the media are doing to make an image, a fake image, to be the trends of fashion.
Yes, like the models, the top models, or like the Barbie, who sells an image non-healthy for the young people.
Yes, that's it. And that's a pity, a real pity.
Yes, it is.
All right. Could anybody say, no, I'm sorry, who's next?
Carlos.
Thank you.
Um, uh, I don't remember very well, but the golden cat of Furton.
Uh-huh.
He has a little hand moving to attract fortune, and I think that it's something like that.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's it.
It's a little cat. He has a little hand moving to attract fortune and money and a lot of things.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I saw a post in Facebook about a beautiful cat who was watching the little cat in the escape windows, and he was trying to imitate the cat, and it was its paw. But it was so beautiful. But yes, it is like symbol for prosperity.
Yes, and fortune and a lot of things. I don't remember very well what things else, but the most important that they are the fortune and money and prosperity.
Aha, that's it. They are kind of protection.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yes, thank you very much. Carlos, please tell us who's next.
um, Erika,
All right, thank you.
welcome.
Erika, hello. Don't be shy. maybe having problems.
Sleeping.
Maybe she has already fall asleep. All right. You know what? I think that yes, nowadays we have different kinds of idolatry, but we don't know if it is really idolatry or it is the use of certain devices. For example, time ago, I thought that I had a relationship with my computer because my computer was is the very first thing I see in the morning, and I say good morning to my computer. And my computer is the very last thing I see in the evening, and I say good night to my computer. So I thought that my computer was something like my boyfriend or something like that. But nowadays I realize that it is just my tool. It's just for working. So what's the difference between worship and necessity for working or for studying? What do you think about your devices, your cell phone, for example? What do you think about it, Alice?
The cell phone have been uh, a god. All time it is in our hands. All the time it with see city and the social uh, absorbing much of our time is the selfie, the message, all the time in the cellular.
Yeah, that's it. So how could we call this? Is this use or is this necessity or what is it?
No necessity anymore. Convert in another tool of the mercadotecnia.
Marketing.
Marketing for the continue for the image, the people who have the better telephone cellular.
Yes, that
The more resolution, the more capacity, the more velocity.
the most fashionable.
Yes.
Yeah, it is something like a competition.
It's the addiction to the cellular.
You're right. Hey, you know what? That was very interesting. I agree with you.
Pues sí.
Right. Okay, do anybody else want to say anything else?
No, teacher.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. You know what? For me, this session has been very interesting. I think that we could not only practice our vocabulary and structures, grammar, but also we could make a reflection about some things. So, well, for me, it was wonderful. I thank you very much for your attendance and your attention. And I hope to see you next class, to see you next week, and have a very beautiful night. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Thank
teacher.
you. Good night.
Good night, teacher.
Thank
See
you.
Thank you very much. Have a very good night.
Have a
Thank you.
nice
Bye.
Good
week,
night.
everybody.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.